Welcome to the Wake Tech Hospitality Program, presenting Mindfulness in the Workplace. Over the next several sessions, you will be introduced to mindfulness and how it can positively impact your professional life as well as your personal well-being. My name is Lisa Wickham, and it's my pleasure to guide you through these sessions and introduce you to some universal and beneficial life skills and work skills that you can apply to your customer care. This program is separated into 5 sessions for your convenience. Each session will include instruction and practical practice time. Home practices will be suggested at the end of each session. As we begin, let's simply start by defining mindfulness and discussing what mindfulness is and what it is not. This definition is offered by Jon Kabat-Zinn. Jon Kabat-Zinn is a pioneer bringing mindfulness to the medical community over 4 decades ago, through studies that he performed initially up at the University of Massachusetts. His definition is this: paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. So breaking these words down a little bit and talking for a moment about 3 key words: attention. This idea of paying attention, noticing, bringing awareness. Intention, doing this on purpose, doing this with intention. And then lastly, attitude. In mindfulness, attitude is a non-judgmental attitude. And this is key. It's a sense of kind regard. We can actually pay attention with intention. But without that key component of non-judgment, that secret ingredient, if you will, we could actually be doing this from a critical place or a mean-spirited inner way, and this is not the essence of mindfulness. Well, there's much to say about mindfulness, and we will explore much of it in these next sessions together. Mindfulness is experiential, meaning we need to do it or practice it in order to fully understand it and experience its benefits. So we will be taking a few moments to practice mindfulness throughout this program in different ways, and typically at the conclusion of each session. But doing a brief practice now, taking a few moments to settle in and simply notice our breath. Let's just go ahead and experience mindfulness. So I encourage you in this moment to just go ahead and take a position of comfort. I'll assume you're sitting in a chair, maybe placing your feet flatly on the floor and just doing something comfortable with your hands, resting them in your lap perhaps. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or not. If it's more comfortable to keep your eyes open, that's fine. Just kind of taking a soft, unfocused gaze, perhaps at the screen in front of you, and really bringing the attention inward. We're trying to minimize the external distractions. So just settling in and just allowing your attention to settle on your breath. Just noticing your breath. Noticing where you most feel your own breath, whether that's in your abdomen or your chest, the back of your throat, or perhaps the tip of your nostrils. Wherever that is, just bringing your attention right there, noticing the in-breath, noticing the out-breath, noticing what it feels like as the air moves in with the in-breath, and as the body releases with the out breath. You will probably notice your mind wandering, and that's okay. That's just what the mind will do. Each time you notice your mind wandering, just see if you can bring your attention back to the breath. Noticing the in-breath and noticing the out-breath. It may be helpful to just silently say to yourself, in with the in-breath and out with the out-breath. In with the in-breath, out with the out-breath. And now, ending this brief practice, coming back into this space together, and just taking a moment to notice how you feel. Notice if anything shifted with doing that practice. You might notice that maybe judgment was arising. That's okay. Just noticing what that was like for you. So here's some other ways of describing mindfulness after doing that practice. The art of being present. Paying attention on purpose, dropping into awareness, allowing ourselves to be with what is, being present in the moment, being in the present moment, being the curious observer or the impartial witness to our own experience. These are all ways of describing mindfulness. Here's some other ways of putting some words around mindfulness. Mindfulness provides us a way to tap into the better parts of ourselves, our innate goodness, our integrity. We all have this capacity for mindfulness as human beings. You already have this. It's a skill that we can build and we can become more skillful at. And in Jon Kabat-Zinn's words, it's a powerful means for connecting with our deepest and best qualities as human beings. So mindfulness is universal. It is not associated with a particular religion or religious beliefs or practices when we teach these skills, this skill set in the medical and corporate settings. But rather, these universal skills and qualities of awareness, personal and professional integrity, and kindness, these universal qualities are not religiously based, but they do dovetail nicely with any faith-based traditions that you might have. In the past 4 decades, there have literally been thousands of mindfulness studies done in the medical communities and in the corporate sector as well. What we know from the research is that mindfulness is a well-researched, evidence-based, effective form of stress reduction and stress management. It's a way of being with ourselves in the world and in the workplace. Due to its benefits on physical and mental health and well-being, mindfulness is now taught in virtually every major medical center in the United States and in industrialized countries around the world. When we look at our own community here in the Triangle, There are mindfulness-based stress reduction programs at Duke Integrative Medicine and at UNC, and many other offerings here around the area. Here's a quote by Rick Hansen, a nationally and internationally known neuropsychologist. Mindfulness brings important information about what's happening around you and inside you. It helps you witness your experience without being swept away by it and hold it in a larger context. There is great value to bringing awareness to what's going on within us as well as what's going on around us in any given moment. This provides us with knowledge and insight, and if we can do this in a non-judgmental way, as the curious observer of our own experience, we then have the opportunity to respond to life rather than react to life, which is very skillful. So bringing your attention inward and just noticing, what are we talking about there? Noticing our thoughts, noticing our emotions as they arise, noticing physical sensations that cue us within our own bodies. There's no need to attach to our thoughts or push them away. We can simply allow them to be there without judging them, just noticing. This idea of being with ourselves with whatever's arising in the moment with a sense of kind regard. Again, becoming the curious observer of our own experience. So how might this be helpful? Mindfulness literally improves our health and well-being. If we can learn to recognize our thoughts and our emotions, we can then have the opportunity to invite calm, to pause, to take a breath. Mindfulness provides us a skill set to relate to stress in a different way, skillfully coping with stress, which not only improves the relationship we have with ourselves, but also the relationships that we have with others. So let's do another brief mindfulness practice. This one is called a mindful check-in. We're just going to kind of check in with ourselves. So again, taking a moment to find a comfortable position wherever you are. You can do this sitting, standing, or lying down, but I'm going to assume you're sitting in a chair. So letting the body relax, but also taking a position of alertness. Just letting your hands rest comfortably on your lap. Again, closing your eyes or keeping them open with a soft gaze, minimizing the external distractions. Just taking a few moments to take a few deep breaths. And now bringing your attention to the body. Just noticing the position of your body as you're sitting in the chair. Noticing the areas of your body that make contact with the chair, behind you, beneath you. And kind of checking in with the body from head to toe, noticing any areas of tightness or tension. Inviting those areas to soften and relax. And just noticing any physical sensations going on anywhere within the body. What does the body have to tell you in this particular moment? It might be sending cues such as hunger or fullness, stiffness or tightness, sleepiness, or any other of a multitude of messages. Just noticing what the body has to tell you. Noticing if any judgment arises And see if you can just let that go. Just being with whatever's arising with kindness. And now shifting the awareness to your thoughts. Just noticing what's going on in the mental field right now. Is the mind feeling rather scattered and distracted? Or is it feeling more settled, focused, or perhaps somewhere in between? Are the thoughts coming quickly? Or are the thoughts coming more slowly? Again, there's no need to judge or even to change anything. This is just checking in, noticing what's going on with the thoughts in this moment. And now shifting the attention to the emotional state and noticing what's there. Is there one predominant emotion? Or maybe there's several more subtle emotions arising. Just noticing. Maybe there's skepticism, or curiosity, or something other. Again, there's no need to judge or even change anything. It's just checking in with what's going on in the emotional state right now. And then shifting the attention to the breath. Maybe just taking a few deep breaths. Noticing what that feels like as the body breathes. Noticing any judgment that might be arising. And see if you can meet all of this with a sense of kind regard. And now ending your practice, coming back to this space together, and again taking a moment to check in and notice how you feel and what that was like. This is the end of session 1. And we have some home practices that may be helpful before you do session 2. So the first home practice would be just bringing awareness to your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, bringing awareness to judgment that arises. Judgment is just part of the human condition. We judge all the time, and we don't have to judge the judging. But when we recognize it, when we notice it, it can be very valuable information to us. So I invite you to practice non-judgment, or to just gently release judgment as it arises. I invite you to practice kind regard toward yourself each time you notice that self-critical voice. And then for more formal practices, practicing that awareness of breathing, just paying attention to your breath. See if you can start with 2 to 5 minutes each day. And know that your mind will wander. That's okay. That's part of the practice. You're not doing anything wrong. The mind will wander. Just bring it back to the breath each time you notice. And then lastly, your mindful check-in. See if you can just do a mindful check-in with yourself, 1 to 2 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. Checking in with the body, checking in with the thoughts, checking in with the emotions, and practicing non-judgment.